before I started doing a little bit of editing. What I thought I would do, give you a quick little update on these projects I've been working on. One of them, again, which I've talked to a few of you guys about already, is the short film that I directed. Haven't directed a short film in years, and it was a great experience to get back into. Like I said, I haven't done it for a while. So what I did was talk a little bit about the project. It was a project for an actress slash comedian, and she's creating a pilot. I'm working with her, and we're creating a pilot. I have known her for a while, and I was positive that she'd be a great character to base a series on. And we all know the explosion of series on streaming services nowadays. So I knew that she would be a great example, a great sample that could be turned into a series. It's based on her life actually, and exaggerated a bit for television, make it even more elaborate. And so what we did was we started working on the ideas for the script, and we came up with a number of different concepts. And so we decided on one, and she wrote the script, and it came out really well. This was a short version. So what we're doing is we're creating what's called a proof of concept. And what a proof of concept does is it explains the whole series, who the character is, the world that the character lives in, and then that way we can show it to potential investors and then raise money to do the full-fledged pilot. Now there's a festival organization called Series Fest, and the great thing about Series Fest is that it focuses just on series. And the way I found out about it must have been, wow, almost 10 years now. So I'm not exactly sure when Series Fest started. It's got to be closing in on its 15th year. And so it's been a really big success, and they've branched off into a lot of areas. A lot of people in the business with connections that can greenlight pilots and series attend it to look for new material. So my wife's nephew was at that time a brand new actor, and he had just finished a great acting program in New York City called the Actors Workshop. I think that's what it's called, the Workshop. And what it is, it's a program, a method program, and it's been around for a really long time. Some of the best actors have went through that program. And so he had asked me what I would recommend if he wanted to get into acting. So I told him that. I told him that was a program that I wish years ago I had got involved with. But he went, he did what he had to do to get the money because it's very expensive. And he got the money, he went through the whole program, did very, very well, got an agent. His agent was a really good agent in New York City. And he started, hello, good morning. And he started doing projects in New York. I think one of the first things he did was a kind of a high level off Broadway play. And then after he did that play, hello, good morning. And after he did that play, he started getting actually work on television. I think one of the first series he was on was the last season of Homeland. And I was so jealous because I love that show. And I love Carrie, the character. And so he was on that show. And I think he was on 2 episodes of that show. And it was really a great experience for him. And it propelled him into other work. So just from taking that class, it wasn't just a class, just from taking that program at the Actors Workshop, he was able to start his career off on the right foot. So that's what I talk about a lot. I decided to jump on here live because I'm noticing from my analytics that a lot of my subscribers and a lot of the people that watch my videos focus a lot on the content I create about acting and being a new actor and getting into the acting business. So I decided that's where I'm going to start narrowing my content. I'm going to still do the other stuff that I talk about, acting, directing, and editing, and just general filmmaking. Hello. And so what I'm going to do though, is start creating more content for new actors. I have some ideas. Actually, as soon as I finish with this live event with you guys, I'm going to polish my first episode focusing on actors and some of the steps that you need to take to propel yourself into a career in acting. It's going to kind of be like an online class for actors. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to recruit actors from my subscribers to participate in the program. And but first of all, I'm going to start just with the steps, the things you need to do, the things you would do if you were in a traditional acting program at a college. At the very basics, though, the very basics. This is not geared towards anyone who's already acting, who's already studied. I want to work with people who have thought about it, who always said, I'd like to give acting a try. How do I get started? I always recommend reading books and stuff at the beginning, which I still recommend, which I will recommend in all the classes that I'm going to teach here. But I'm going to teach short little focused classes on the elements that you need as a person just starting out. So that's what I'm going to focus on here. And I hope you guys start watching it and following again. Continue to follow my channel and continue to subscribe. And I like talking about this, obviously, because I jump on here all the time talking about it. But again, I see that a lot of people are really following my vertical shorts when I talk about acting, and also people are following that back to my 16 by 9 full-length content talking about acting and how to get started and how to make it in this business. Because there's a lot of things you have to do at the very beginning. I remember when I first started out, when I first moved to Los Angeles, I got an agent. Luckily, I got an agent because I met an actor on the set of something I was working on. And the agent took me on. And I remember getting my first call for an audition. And they said, we're going to send you can come pick up the sides. And this was in the days before we even had email. So they told me I had to physically come pick up the sides. And I said, what are the sides? I was so new, I didn't even know what sides were. But sides are the pages of the script that you're going to audition with. So that's the basic kind of stuff that I'm going to teach, because that's the stuff you really need to know when you're just starting out. And like I always say in all my videos, you don't know what you don't know. And so I'm going to try to teach you guys in these free lessons, not charging anything, just creating content for my channel and to give information out to you guys who are kind enough to watch it and come to my channel and subscribe. I'm going to give out the basic information for anyone who wants to start off as an actor, because there's a lot of basics that you need to know. And a lot of these basics, unfortunately, you don't even learn in college. If you're in a college program, they teach you all the traditional basics. I'm going to cover some of those, but I'm going to teach you all the real world basics that you need to know about showing up on the set, being prepared, having pictures and resumes that represent what you really look like, being confident, how to be confident. I'm going to teach you about online auditions, because that's a big thing now. Doing your self-tapes. So you can be able to do them yourself. You won't have to actually go out and pay someone to do it. There's basic skills that you need to have so that people can hear you clearly. They can see you clearly. Like even right now, I'm doing this. I'm away from my home right now, but I didn't bring my soft light to hit my face a little. So I should be a little bit brighter. Those are the kind of things I'm going to teach you guys. Because when you're doing your self-tape, you want them to be able to hear you clearly and see you clearly. You don't want to have any impediment in them seeing who you are and seeing how you deliver your lines, because that's going to make them, as far as the casting directors go, send you off to the next person who wants to look at you, like the producer or the primary casting director or the director. So you want to look good. You want to present yourself. You want them to be able to hear you, see you, and see the small emotions that you're making. Because if they can't see your eyes, or they can't hear you well, then that's what they're thinking about. They no longer are thinking about whether you're the right character or whether you're doing a good performance or not. They're wondering why I can't hear him, why I can't see him. They're fiddling with their phone trying to turn up the volume because they can't hear what you're saying. So I want to go over all those details with you and help you create the best content possible to push you forward. Because if this is something that you want, you need to know the basics. That's what I always say. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut off, and then later I'll give you an update to the content that I've created for my first class focusing on acting that I will be putting up sometime this week. All right, I'll see you soon.